And the arrest of the Huawei executive has triggered intense uncertainty on global financial markets. Here's a live look at the big board at the New York Stock Exchange. The Dow Jones Index of 30 of the most influential names in corporate America has taken another gut-wrenching drop. It's down by more than 530 points, though earlier it had plunged more than 700 points. The selling in North America extends what was a global stock dump, and it all started the minute the news broke yesterday evening. And Jeannie Lee is here to walk us through yet another punishing day. So connect the dots for us between this arrest and what's happening on the markets today.
Well, right away when the news hit, you had to think, if you've been following the news, and a lot of people obviously have, because we're at a critical point in terms of the U.S. and China relationship, that what will this do to that tenuous relationship, and which is already pretty tense. And at the same time, there's a trade deal being negotiated between the two countries, the two biggest economies in the world. And what might this have in the way of impact on those negotiations? And if there is no deal, or a really tough one, there could be ramifications for just about every country in the world. So right away, and you could see it, is I'm going to show you a graphic of what happened yesterday evening. Right away when the news hit, you see that area that we put a square around? Mm-hmm. That was when the news was broken, and down came the Dow Jones future. So you knew that the market was going to be in for a big sell-off early on. And then it was proven when Asian markets opened, and then European markets opened. Most of the global indexes dropped by 1%, 2%, 3% or more. And then North America opened, of course. We saw the impact on the Dow. As you say, that it's down 530 points now. It was off by much more earlier, and this, of course, follows several days of this kind of big sell-off, followed by a little bit of a recovery, and then another stumble.
And Canada certainly isn't immune, of course, to this.
No, and in a global economy, no country is totally immune from the U.S. or from China or from any dispute between the two of them. So if this episode should escalate current tensions or block any trade deal, the rest of the global economy will feel it. So let's take a look. Well, we won't take a look, but I'll tell you about the reaction on the Canadian stock market. Certainly the composite was down quite a lot earlier, by about 3% at one point, 408 points. And then it sort of, lifted itself off that bottom, but it's still down about 2.25% or so. That's a significant one-day drop. And then you have the Canadian dollar. It is trading below 75 cents and decidedly below that, more in the 74.5 cent zone, where it has not traded since summer of last year. So we're talking about an 18-month low for the Canadian dollar. And it's not just this story that's affecting the dollar and affecting our markets. It's the fact that OPEC has not come to a decision about what it'll do about oil prices, and that, of course, will weigh on oil prices, because the expectation is that OPEC will cut output, which could help raise those prices. And the other issue, of course, is just the bond market, which is throwing out all kinds of signals that a recession is ahead. If not a recession, then at least a slowdown. And that's also not great news for investors. And roll that all up, and that's what you see, that big ball of anxiety on the markets.
Yeah. All right, Jeannie, thank you.